We should have lights out, and our Suzuka Racing false starts will be penalized. Make sure you use the clutch only at the correct time. It is going to be 5 red lights, and we go racing here at Suzuka. What a start. It's a decent start from GT, but a decent start from One as well. What about Chapman? He's going to make me around the outside. He might have had a better start than One there so far as it looks like. Has he, though? Because One has just managed to stay ahead and keep his car in second place. Mickey is in P4. Chapman has managed to just stay ahead of Mickey. While it is his car to the back, and there is incidents at the back as well. And that might be Wolf Club and RLD. The two drivers spun round while Monte Carlos is right behind Nitu, who was serving the qualifying ban and not setting up a time. But Nitu now right ahead of Monte Carlos, where Monte might try and get past Nitu there. Will he be able to get past him there, though? We're about to find out. They're nearly going to make contact. Who's going to be the better into the right-hander? It is going to be Monte Carlos. Nitu just managed to stay ahead while at the top of the table. There might be a bit of battle going on, and GT's taking the lead. No, don't fight. I mean, he should have had the lead, actually. He should actually have the lead. Apologies to the battle fight. We're looking at one part of it, and Chapman there, P2 and 3 so far. While Mickey a possible chance of fighting, while these guys are going to be fighting each other as there overtakes at the back. There might be as Jones is getting overtaken by Lisandro's. Maybe he's fighting Lisandro to make an overtake there. Into the hairpin they'll go. There's a pretty tricky corner. They need to make sure who gets the better of them right there. Well, Monte Carlos is going to go for it on the inside line. He gets past Nitu. Well, Nitu's now got RLD right behind him as well, as RLD might now get past Nitu as well. They're going to be side by side. Who's going to be the driver braver and better on the brakes and traction in those cars? It might be Nitu, and it will be Nitu at least so far for the moment. And no, it will not be, as absolutely we just say that it'll be Nitu. He goes so wide and allows RLD to get past him back again. And once more it is fun. I know it's for the final positions. It's at the very bottom of the grid, but wherever we can find some action, while I believe Wolf Club made contact with the wall and he's out of the race already. While Monte Carlos, Jones and Lisandro are all at it. The fight could be on Lisandro and Page, actually. No, in fact, it's going to be Lisandro and Jones right here. While there might not be much fighting at the top of the table, there's going to be some fighting for these bottom midfield positions. Is Jones going to go for it on the inside into turn 1? No, they'll not. So they're just going to make sure they get past these S's very soon, while GT leads by 9/10. We know one part of it is catching them up. Both of them are on the same medium tire, along with Chapman, Mickey, Numpty, Smoke, Page. Every single one of them on a set of mediums, all the way to Lisandro's on the set of hards. Then again, medium for Johns as well. Nobody, as we just said, nobody's using, but RLD is indeed using those soft compound tires. Nobody else is doing so. Maybe they had the experience of going out in qualifying. Remember, RLD did not come out in qualifying, so they... We're talking about what's going on. Mickey's lost his car, while Smoke and Numpty are going to be fighting each other off as well. Smoke's going to have the inside line, Numpty's going to have the outside line. It might be the Numpty Scott driver who's going to be the bravest, or Billy, though, because he may allow Smoke to get past on the inside line. Smoke's going to stay right beside him already. He's definitely going to go right behind him now to pick up the slipstreams, pick up the toe, and help him get better. But will he be getting up better, though? Who's going to be the flat out driver into 130R? Both of them are nearly going to push foot to the floor. And Smoke Numpty just about keeps his car to the top, just about keeps his car ahead of Numpty there. Well, Mickey's lost his car. Mickey's at the very back of the grid. Then, while Numpty now, we might be in a bit of pressure from Smoke once more. Smoke will get another opportunity. Does he go to the outside? Does he go to the inside? As he just stays there. And not to forget, these guys are then allowing Mr. Page to come behind him, because Pagey is in P6 at the moment so far. Well, forget even if Page arrives, it is going to be Lisandro and Monte Carlos, who these guys are going to be arriving as well. Well, Monparavid might have run a little bit wide, and that'll allow Chapman to get past him, and Chapman's already passed and ahead of Monparavid. Gets the overtake done, and move is being made. These guys pitted, while at the back of the grid it is going to be Monparavid. He's going to try and get past Nitu there. Will he be able to get the move done though into turn one? Nitu will have the outside line, Monpara will have the inside line, as they're just going to able to get past him as they nearly make contact into the S as they go. They'll still be will to will. Who's the driver willing to back out, and who's the driver willing to give it all? And so far it looks like it was Monparavid. Well, need to run a little bit wide so far. Well, GT's back in P7 and ahead of RLD, who you'd assume have pitted already. In fact, a couple of laps earlier, and his medium tyres are already halfway done on the front tyres. Which could be interesting here, because by the looks of it, it looks like we might see drivers do 2 stops. I mean, GT's went for a hard tyre, and that definitely explains why he's went for a hard tyre, because the medium tyre, it looks pretty unlikely that these drivers are going to be able to complete this race on a one-stop here, especially on those medium tyres. Because look at, I need to, despite him being on the hard tyres, his rear tyres are a bit better on the front, so definitely, again, this track is being front tyre punishable, front tyre punish. These drivers getting or managing those front tyres would be a bit of a trouble for them to do. Well, Chapman's now in the pits as well. Chapman will be coming into the lane. GT, who should take the race lead back to his name. Same should go for Chapman, I'd say. He's down in P5 then, but obviously that's because all those drivers who are in the pit lane, and Smoke has jumped up over to P3 as well. That is going to be somewhat brilliant strategies, you have to say here, because Smoke has managed his way up to P3, despite being on brand new hard compound tyres. Same then goes for Page as well, while Monte Carlos is in P5 and Lisandro in P6. So decent amount of laps and decent amount of you'd say progress for these guys, and especially if they're able to gain themselves a couple of positions by staying out a little bit longer, or pitting a bit early with an undercut or an overcut. You could argue Smoke's tyres are slightly more worn than Chapman's, but then GT's tyres are also slightly more worn than Chapman as well, because he pitted a lap later than GT, but it's only a question of whether he can make up all that time that he would have lost while pitting right behind or right after him. Sure, I mean, even if he's able to gain that time, and he's gaining by a couple of, even a few seconds per lap, unless he's doing many seconds every single lap, he won't be able to catch up to him very easily. There's 6.8 seconds the gap between the top two, and 11 laps at the end of this lap. So 5 laps remaining at the end of this lap, then to the end of this race 1 here at round 9. Now in all that pressure from Monte Carlos, who's coming right behind him with a possible podium finish on his way, but Monty needs to do all the work he can, and look at that is the reason why Monty is catching up to him, because he's on those soft compound tires. Well, Monte Carlos will try and get past Smoke. He's going to send it on the inside line. Who will be the later on the brake driver? It might be Smoke, but he runs a little bit wide. Sorry, Monte Carlos runs a little bit wide, while Page and Lisandro fighting each other as well. So fights are on. Fight for P5 and fight for P3 is on the line right here, as Monte Carlos has managed to overtake and get ahead of Smoke right there. And it's a fight of hard tires versus soft tire runners right there. Meanwhile, Lisandro on the mediums is also giving it his all to try and get past Page on the hards. It's all about who's going to be the better driver on the nerves, who's going to be able to handle their nerves more easy and more cleanly right there. In P6 they are, but being on the medium compared to Page's hard tyres, those mediums might just be performing a little bit better so far in this one. With these 4 laps now remaining, including this one. Chapman in P2. Chapman has been pretty consistent, you have to say, the first maybe. Well, there's going to be action at the front, and there is going to be action indeed, as Lisandro will try and get past Page. He's giving it all. He's doing his all to make sure the overtake gets done. Maybe not around here or Villet, though, because one part of it now is arriving behind these guys, which would only mean one thing. This will not be a 2-car fight, but it could soon be a 3-car fight right there, as Lisandro's going to keep his car on the inside into turn 1. He's going to be having the inside line, and he'll just get past Page up to P5, and the move is done from Lisandro, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, how does that's how Lisandro does send his car into P5, but he'll need to be careful though, because anytime Page could come at him. Well, Page himself has got one part of it now right behind his wing mirrors, which he's going to make sure to keep on behind him. Well, look at that. So that's how Page is going to be seeing the car of one part of it. Then we're seeing the car actually for them in the mirrors, which would be somewhat of an interesting pressure on their shoulders, while Smoke, who was at one point fighting Monte Carlos, is now going to be in a bit of trouble from Lisandro coming up soon. Now these are your drivers, these are your fights in this race so far. GT is in by over 4.8 seconds. He leads by, he might be losing a bit of time, but I think it won't be enough laps in the end for Chapman to get closer for play. Smoke, remember. Oh, he's going to be already going for it. We would have thought maybe not around here, but he nearly tries and makes it work, but he has to back out eventually. That could have been a big one had he tried it. So he's not going to be going for that just now right there, but Lisandro in P5 with Smoke in P4, all could be up on the line here in the second last lap of this race. Next time it'll be the final lap of this race, race 1 here at Suzuka. Remember, there is one more race after this, which will be reverse grid of these results that we get right now. Maybe Page is going to be in a bit of pressure from Pomparavud, but all the pressure will be on Smoke right now, because only a 1/10.5 separate the two. That doesn't even separate the two anymore. Into 130i, he's going to send it on the inside line. Smoke's pushed absolutely wide, but he rejoins back again on the circuit. But that could be argued here. Are we going to watch out if Lisandro does let Smoke get past him there? Sure, he went for it. I mean, nobody wanted to back out there. So certainly a bit of a problem could be coming up. Well, one part of it is still going to make sure he's close enough before he has a go on Page. With Numtined is now in P8, ahead of E2 in P9 with RLD. Mickey, not sure what happened to Mickey there, because we just saw him all the way from the top to the bottom, running in the middle of the race, which definitely made, I think, would relate to a bit of issues. Well, now Lisandro is just Smoke is dropping down to Lisandro as well, so definitely he's not enjoying the car, enjoying it on those hard tires. His fuel is about to get over as well, while our race leader at the moment is now into final sector of this race. We're going to find out whether if these drivers are going to go for it. Well, Smoke is going to be one thing. It is going to be Monte Carlos. He runs absolutely wide into the hairpin, and Lisandro will take third place. And it is all happening here in the final lap of race 1. It is GT who leads with Chapman in P2, but third place always up for grabs, and now he's gone. Monte Carlos opting for a set of soft tyres for the end of the race, and his tyres are now absolutely gone, and that's the reason he's lost third place. He might lose fourth place as well there, while Page is right behind him. He should be able to get past him in no time. Well, it'll be GT. He was unstoppable. He was untouchable from anybody throughout the race so far, as he's qualified on pole and wins race one here in Japan. Suzuka with Chapman in P2, and it'll be Lizandro who takes third place from Monte Carlos at the very end, while Page gets fourth place, One Pyramid gets fifth, and Monte Carlos gets sixth place finish. He'll be gutted to lose out on that podium, which should have been his. And he had some tire grip left with Smoke in P7. Namtined is in P8. No Nito in P9, while RLD completes the top 10. Mickey in P11. And we have Jones, our very final driver, making all their way around the few corners to go over the line and finish and be our final finisher of this race so far. Then look at that. Jones will come over the line, take the checkered flag, and that'll be the end of race one, ladies and gentlemen. And this was some brilliant action, especially the end moments of the race.